In this video, we're going to talk about the missing children and Spawn's hunt for answers. Alrighty then, this is a comic book review of King Spawn, issue number 43, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. So previously in King Spawn, Spawn's discussion with Agent Lynch leads to the whereabouts of one of the missing children. So we get this flashback of Agent Lynch. He's being interrogated heavily by this cop. And this cop is going in on little bro like, we know this may be difficult, William, but here's the thing. Here's how things currently are. While you were at your sleepover at Mark O'Brien's house, your home was invaded. Your parents, I'm afraid to say, were murdered while your brother Michael was being abducted. The only positive news is we think we've uncovered a pretty strong lead. 4 other homes were attacked that night, with yours being the only one where the family had multiple children, which means this points to the one who did this, and that brother is you, brother. Now come on, William, admit it. You were jealous of your brother, so you conspired with these monsters to rid yourself of him and your parents. This is all your fault. You killed him. Yo, this is a freaky image right there, but you know that's just a dream right there. My man can't handle that flashback right now. It's been 25 years since William Lynch's life was forever destroyed. What still bothers him is how quickly the tragedies were forgotten. For the first few weeks, of course, the attention was constant, but before long, the world had moved on, and he spent so much time wondering about how different things might have been if it had not been for that damn night as he's looking at photos of his parents and his family. What his parents would have done in those 25 years, what kind of man would Michael have grown up to? But the media got distracted by the next thing. He's tried to stay away from that ever since. Otherwise, he'll just get mad all over again, and he hungry. But you wouldn't want him mad though. So he gets news from this guy, from his co-worker, like, yo man, they finally got the guy, where you been? Well, good morning to you too, PD says. William, what are you so excited about? You haven't heard? They found one of those missing kids, and that's a direct correlation to King Spawn issue number 42 when Spawn found the little boy, Andy Wheeler. And William's like, okay, say that again, come again? Yeah, that's a crazy thing. The kid just showed up on our doorsteps a few hours ago. So William was like, okay, which kid are you talking about? That kid is Andy Wheeler. Beth and those guys are talking to him at the moment. And I don't know if he's going to say anything because little bro is traumatized, but they're definitely going to be doing some kind of briefing soon enough. So outside, that poor kid can't imagine the stuff he's been through. But at least now he's safe until Revenant right there from the last issue, who killed the bro because Andy really got kidnapped, even though it wasn't his fault. There's no room for error. Revenant is going to get him back. And get him back for who, you may ask? Well, that brother is for the Wraith. And Spawn's been squeezing his informants to find out who the heck this guy is that's sacrificing children. Agent Lynch told Spawn in the last issue that the last time he was active was 25 years ago. With the constant turnover of angels and demons on Earth, that means few from that time would still be around to interrogate. But there are others with much longer memories, and Spawn's gonna find out and get in that ass. So later on, this vampire's like, oh, a visit from the failed king of hell. To what do I owe the pleasure? And Spawn's like, look bro, I'm looking for Wraith. Now, there's a name I haven't heard in a while. My, you've gotten yourself into some kind of trouble, haven't you, Hellspawn? But why should I help you? Spawn's like, because Ichabod, we don't play no damn games. We both know Blood, the leader of the vampire, is still pissed about your dumbass and your attempted coup. Wouldn't want him to find out where you've been hiding out, would you? And that brother vampire is like, oh hell no, is that a threat? Oh, well, that's up to you. It's open for interpretation. And the vampire's like, fine. How'd you come into this orbit then? I'll give you your answers. And Spawn's like, don't be stingy now. He's murdering kids. And the vampire's like, yes, Wraith has a fondness for children. And he keeps a low profile. He does this every 25 years. But he seems to emerge from the shadows from time to kidnap and sacrifice another group of firstborn boys. So, what can I say? I don't know his purpose. The first time I heard of his name was about 300 years ago. And Spawn's like, 300 years? So, he's a vampire. I don't believe so, says this vampire, but if you want my advice, stay the hell away from Wraith. That is not somebody you want to make an enemy of. And Spawn asks a question like, yo man, I've been around for a while. If he is so damn dangerous, why haven't I heard of him? Because he didn't want you to. Because Those with true power don't need to stomp and shout, but rest assured, when he wants his presence known, oh, you'll know it. And the Revenant is going to work on these fools. He's murking them left and right. And he's pissed. He wants that attention. He wants that smoke. He wants Andy Wheeler. He's causing attention in the police department. And they know they got a hostile on the floor. So they have to set the perimeter, seal the perimeter, call SWAT, and call HQ. There's a breach in the system. But moments later, upon contact, Revenant is just doing the damn business right there. And even though he gets to where Andy Wheeler's at, one of the cops tells him, don't you freaking move. And Revenant's like, bruh, don't give me that weak stuff right here. See these hands, see that knife. And you could tell, how does bro have his entire hand around homegirl's upper torso like that? So he gets shot from the back of the head, and that just pisses Revenant off. And it's Detective Williams Lynch. And he tells the Revenant on the floor, now. Revenant's like, man, sit your ass down and get back. Let the grown folk do some business while I take this kid into my custody. And Andy really is like, oh, heck no, man. He's terrified. He's horrified. Not again, he says. But the shadows bring him to the ground and swallow him whole. In a good way, because Spawn emerges, keeping that kid safe. And while we look at that portrait right there, that panel, I want to take the time to say that this video is sponsored by coffee. So if you want to buy your boy a cup of coffee, link in description, or donate to the super thanks. But the greatest compliment you guys can do is by liking this video and subscribing to RatedComics YouTube channel. Also, don't forget to check out RatedComics.com for some really cool limited print Rated Comics exclusives and other comic books to add to your comic book collection. We also ship in the US for free with any purchase of $50 or more. But with all that being said, let's get back into the content. So before we go any further, we got to go back to the night before. And Spawn tells William Lynch, like, yo, we need to lure that kid and use him as bait. That way we can get a hold of Wraith. Lynch is not going for that. He tells Spawn, you're out of your freaking mind. We can't use a little kid as bait. And Spawn's justification is, we just need to draw old boy out in the open. And once we do that, I'll get him. That way he can't do this thing to kids anymore. So where is the boy, says William Lynch. Oh, he is somewhere safe. And Detective Lynch is like, well, let me speak to him. I've already scanned his mind, says Spawn, so you have your interrogation skills, I have my telepathy, and there isn't much useful in there. He was wearing blindfolds throughout most of it. Wraith's goons had Andy and the others inside some tiny room, then each day a guard would come and take one of them away. That's pretty horrific right there. Andy was the one that was left. Based on that pattern and the robe he was wearing, I have to assume it was some kind of ritualistic killing. And Detective Lynch is like, man, that is some bull jive right there. How long have they been doing this? I don't know, says Bond. Which is why I need to use Andy as bait. They'll be looking for him, and they'll be looking for him real good. Then I'll make sure they'll never hurt anyone else again. Well, Spawn gets decked and murked right there with the two-piece combo right there. But Spawn goes back with those heavy hands and chains, and the Revenant didn't see that shit coming. So part of Al Simmons surviving his dozens of military Black Ops missions attacks rested on his ability to distinguish the difference between people who will talk and those who won't. But Spawn instinctively knows it'll be a waste of time trying to reason with a madman like this. He ain't gonna talk. Spawn uses telepathy to make sure he gets his information. But fortunately, Spawn doesn't need to talk, because Spawn is using his psychic defenses, but unfortunately, this bro, the Revenant's defenses are stronger than what Spawn has expected. So Spawn pushes deeper, trying to find Wraith's location. The deeper he drills into the man, and he digs deeper, but until this happened, and something's wrong. Spawn knows that something is wrong, dead wrong. He doesn't like this right now. And they have to break apart in dramatic fashion. But it's some type of psychic booby trap buried deep inside the mind of this man. Spawn retreats, barely saving himself from frying his mind. The operative's brain, though, isn't as lucky. But if the Wraith thinks that this booby trap is going to stop Spawn, well, then he's about to find out that he's made one of the gravest mistakes of his existence. Spawn ain't going to give up. But that is the end of King Spawn issue number 43, The Missing Children, and Spawn's hunt for answers begins right here. What you guys think of this comic book? Comment below, let me know, and also link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other limited print rated comic exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With all that being said, thank you again for watching. Until the next upload.